guys, welcome back to another one. Today I have with me Dustin North, owner-operator, and I've been saying this now because this is what Noob told me he calls himself, Commander-in-Chief over at North Edge Tools. Dustin, thank you so much for joining me today, man. How are you?
Good, how are you, Chris? Thanks for having me.
Hey, another beautiful day, man. I'm so happy to have you here. This is going to be episode number 2 for me of, a series that I'm really excited about doing. I am so honored and excited to be able to talk to a bunch of these guys that to be frank, man, like I look up to, I kind of fanboy over, and just to be able to pick y'all's mind and then hopefully for other people to be able to hear that, it's just such a cool, thing to me. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that's the cool thing about the internet and like social media and everything is like we can all just connect so easily now, which is good most of the time, and then sometimes it's overwhelming, right?
Yeah. Well, it's how it's directed, right? I mean, it's the kind of the way of the world with anything. If things are used and directed in a positive and good manner, I think really good things can come out of it, and then the opposite, right? Like if we just let things go by the wayside and don't really care about what's happening or don't police or regulate what's happening, bad things happen. So right into this, man. For those who may not know you yet, who are you and what do you make?
Yeah, so Dustin North Edge Tools, and I make handmade fixed blade knives, and then some other things like chopsticks and some other goods. And for my knives, I mainly do EDC, outdoor and hunting, and then I dabble in the kitchen stuff. But yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, just exploring. I mean, obviously, me being a huge fan of your work and everything, I've ventured through the website more times than I care to really count over the past 3 weeks or so. And I will say, man, I often find myself looking at some of these kitchen knives that you also have on there, and there is a Damascus paring knife that is sitting on the website right now that might not be sitting there much longer if I have anything to look at. So, I've been really interested in checking stuff out, like another line that you do. I now have 2 of your knives in your line, and the kitchen side has absolutely been one that's been interesting me a lot lately. So you make some beautiful stuff, and yeah, I mean, just something that I could see myself owning, no doubt. So
yeah, well, I find I cook all my meals at home, or we cook all the time, and so like having a kitchen knife, it's something that we use every day or most every day. And then when I first started making knives, people are like, oh, do you make kitchen knives? Like friends, family, all that stuff. And it's like one of those knives that people are very familiar with and a lot of people use and are comfortable with.
Yep.
And so it was like, all right, yeah, I'll make some kitchen knives. So I started all right, what shapes and styles and what grinds and all that kind of stuff. Kind of went down that rabbit hole, and it's like, wow, this is extensive. So like I kept it pretty truncated. It's like a stay in my wheelhouse on stuff. So yeah, but anyways.
Tell me, how did you first get into the EDC and knife world? Was it a hobby at first? Did you get into it as a profession? Did you kind of fall into it? Run me through that.
Yeah, so well, I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, it's definitely been a hobby first. I think everybody, it's kind of a hobby. I'm sure there's some people that did something else in like the machining world, and then they're like, I want to make knives, and they just jumped into it. But for me, like growing up, I spent a ton of time in the outdoors, and like my dad was super into like primitive skills, survival skills type stuff. And so he taught me how to use a knife from like a really young age. And then like I got my first knife when I was like 11 or like 8, I don't remember. And then I just carried a knife. I had a knife on me, and like outside of school, I always had a knife on me. I always used it camping and all kinds of stuff like that. And so that's where like my love for knives started, and where I was introduced to it. And then like as I got older, and this kind of flows into your next one. first thing I ever made, but like
Yeah.
when I got older, I learned that like people were making their own knives, like not just like professional companies, but like people were making them at home. And I'm like,
Right.
what? Like, no way, right? And and so I'm an engineer by degree. I've always been like tinkering with stuff, taking things apart, learning about things. That always has like fascinated me.
Sure.
And then like the creation side is like, you know, is and the artistic side is super cool to me as well. But so like I remember distinctly, like my dad came back from this class, it was some outdoor class, and he had a little like handwritten booklet, and it was like backyard blacksmithing, and it was like a how-to on how to make a knife, and I was like, I'm doing that one day, you know, like.
Cool.
And so eventually, when I was in college, I found some steel that was like hardenable steel, and I sat on my couch and like